Before you exit, you go left towards this area. The harbor was that way, and this is the old hammam area back here, and the hall of Barolanos in that area. But this building up here is actually the St. Mary Basilica, not the St. Mary's house that the Catholics venerate, but this is where the St. Mary's Basilica is, and where the Council of Ephesus took place. And on the right here, we'll see the remains of the bishop's or archbishop palace. From the exit, before you exit on this side, you can go left straight down this walkway, and this walkway will take you also to the St. Mary's Basilica, which is not too far from the exit, normal exit that people take. If I'm not mistaken, these remains are from the area. This is piled up. You can see an old royal type marble from Egypt. I think there's a cross or two here in this section. This is actually upside down. This thing. Yeah, we have cross there, across there. Just a side note that in this area here, they dug up a few years ago. There's housing from here up to the city line, but they then let the overgrowth of nature take over. So here is the St. Mary's Basilica that they take care of, and over here on the right is the palace of the Archbishop metropolitan area. Let's see what we can see in the remains of this. As evident, they have dug it up, and you can see here, we were probably standing along this side, I'm guessing, and this is where the parking is today. And this whole area from here over to where the parking is over there is all this basilica, or this palace. And so what remains is nothing, really. They've dug it up, and the walls are there, but you can't see any parts of it because they let overgrowth take place. And there's a little wall. In this you see a little like dome shape there on the far right, even right here. Actually, that's the church. But you have a little chapel there. This would probably be this section right here on the right. It's kind of shaped that way. You see the archway. The remains of that, the archway going around. But again, what remains is very minimal to what was here at one point. And unfortunately, they haven't kept it up and make it available to watch and look at. On this basilica, you can see my shadow. It's east behind me. Well, it's midday, but it's possible a baptism that was there. Entryway here. You can see a little bit of a round shaped figure there around this part. Marble, different structures. Here's the wall from the basilica. This is an ancient temple that was repurposed as a church. And you see here the major walls and the pillars. It's quite the building, almost 2 stories high. Going through. As you go through, you see old remains along the way. Green marble, beautiful marble. Back way into that dome-shaped area. It's probably had frescoes there in the past. Other signs. Greek writing. I know that Justinian made the language not Latin, but Greek. We have all these different pillars here. Sometimes we see panels. I'll show you these panels first before we see the main church. Some beautiful panels, carvings, eternity symbol like the sun. Other shapes like hearts, like 3 hearts in a row. And we have some tree or eternity symbols there on the bottom. You have the cross here in the middle. This could have been the beginning of front side of the church. That's the area, like a wall they would use in these older churches. So we have a few buildings here. You have this shape here. This could be the large church from here all the way back there. It's quite a large church. So it started as large, and then they made it smaller. You can see the paneled wall here. I saw some over there on the left, or some by the wall, but here's a panel with a cross. Even up here, you see somehow The archways between, you see these panels often on the ground. Again, symbols of eternity or tree of life type of things. You had the apse here facing east, an older building. And it says this is 1967 they renovated this, that's all it says up there. So actually behind these walls you can see that there was also another entryway. Usually the priests served on this side. On the south side the priests would change their clothing and whatnot and go in. Sometimes, yeah, there's actually an entryway on this side. You would go into behind the altar. Let's see what we can see here. Actually, yeah, it goes up. And you see it goes up in some very interesting, delicate type stonage going up there. So can't get in, it says. Locked up. This would be a back room for the priest. In the far end you see a cross here, probably for a side room. Here's the back there. So 431 this council took place, and this council determined that Mary was the mother of God. The first time that really was used in doctrinal statements. And interesting for a place that worshipped Artemis, Diana, the mother of childbirth, and how that dominated this area. It was condemned by John Chrysostom, and he destroyed the temple area not far from here. But then he, so there was, I would believe a cultural vacuum, but also there's a lot of ideas about this council, what took place, and of all places. But they had the example of Constantine and his mother, who dominated the scene for a good number of decades and influenced Christianity for many centuries to come after that. And so here we have where the council took place. And you can check out my blog on some of the things I've written about that. They're using, obviously, they've redone the stone look in a lot of places using old stones. Come to this back section, probably where the fellowship and a lot of things happen. We're going to go through this gated area here on the right. Most people go back and say, I'm so hot, I want to get out of here. But this is actually a very amazing sight. And this is where it shows a baptism in the ground. There it is. So they would baptize walking in from the west, clean your sins and have your dunking in the water, and come out on the east side for newness of life, walking towards the crosses here. Large crosses all around on this area. Some have been scraped off, but this is the cross that we have here.